Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris Pfluger. I am the managing director here at IAD Florida. Our real estate company is about to blow up. And there's a couple reasons for that, Scott. So I wanted to welcome a special guest today, Scott Petronis. Scott, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am doing very well. So today's talk is on technology, right? So, I go back, Scott, if we're having a conversation about this, and I go back 10, 15 years, technology has impacted the overall real estate market, and it's changed it quite a bit. But pre-COVID, post-COVID are two different things, right? So we always thought before COVID that we had to work out of an office. We had to drop things off. We had to turn in our file. Sign the forms. Today, even pre-COVID, we know that that's not necessary, right? We DocuSign everything. We have everything in the system. We keep all our files backed up online anyway. I operate most everything off of my phone right here, right? So what am I doing in that office, right? So when it comes down to technology, we would not be able to operate the way we do as real estate agents without the right technology. I would say we'd all agree to that.
I would agree.
Okay. Well, let me introduce everybody to Scott since he's jumping in here. Scott is a former CTO for many, many, many large firms, has done integrations for all of the real estate firms that everyone will be familiar with, and is an IT consultant that's working with us directly to help us roll out both our Florida expansion and possibly our national expansion here in the U.S. So welcome, Scott.
Hey, thanks. I am so excited to be here. Absolutely, Chris. And look, I decided I was going to be outside too because, you've got this gorgeous Florida background and I've got an upstate New York background. Definitely not the same temperature.
That's how technology works, right? We have the opportunity to be almost anywhere and we're outside.
That's right.
That's great. I'm a little warmer than you are, I think, but that's
okay. For sure.
So let me ask you this. So we're talking about leading edge. So IAD has leading edge cloud-based technology. I would venture to say, I think we can both agree on this, we would not be able to have a conversation about a cloud-based real estate firm without a huge, strong foundation in technology.
It's fundamental, right? It's fun. And what, I will tell you from the get-go, what impressed me with IAD is the fact that the company was really born from cloud-based technology. It's been at the heart of it. It's really the genesis of IAD from its beginning 15 years ago. And if you think back 15 years ago, right, there weren't many organizations around the world, let alone in the U.S. or anywhere, that had that foresight. So, the fact that the company is really born of technology and has at its heart thought about how do I facilitate everything that real estate professionals have to do from anywhere that they want to do it. And, hey, that's, I think, helped the expansion into how many countries?
8 countries now, 8 countries, right? So, and that's, obviously with a large platform that we have, there is a proprietary system that already exists, right? We call it Play IAD. It is a proprietary system that is award-winning in Europe, no question about it. However, we know that there's unique needs here in the United States, so it forced us to do a little bit something different, a deep dive into the very best of the best, which, frankly, given the fact that we're coming in new, right, starting up new here in the U.S., but not new over there, gives us an opportunity to pick the very best platforms in the U.S. to meet very specific criteria. So the good news is now we've created an agent productivity suite, right? So our agents have the opportunity to have an entire suite of services that includes the award-winning portion, right? For IAD, Play IAD, it's not going to be gone away. It's still there. So if you're looking for your e-stores, or you're looking for your training, or you're looking for anything in the back end to track your coaching and mentoring revenue, it's all there, right? That's already in place and that's not changing. But what it gives us the opportunity to do is integrate the very best from the US as well. So my question to you is, how did we, and again, we're working with you directly, how do we come up with the right mix to plug that in and really make it advantageous for our agents?
Yeah, well, to start off, Chris, really quick, one of the things that I feel is critical for any company, and I think IAD has done a wonderful job of this, because of course you've learned over multiple countries that there's certain things that make sense to build and own, and then there are certain things, and those those are your proprietary, that's your secret sauce, that's the stuff that you want to really be the best at and own it internally. Then there are the things that ultimately you want to find the best of the best. And some folks say building best of breed is a difficult path, but the reality is if you do it right and you do it with the right mindset, you can deliver and create a best of breed solution that doesn't feel as if it's any different across the board. So where we started was right with that desire. You wanted to, IAD wanted to create the best system that would work for anybody in the US. And how do you start that? Well, you find out, who are the best companies that have already done this, who's invested, who has the track record. And that's exactly what we did. And we found the companies that, ultimately I look at three major areas, right? One is integration, right? You have to have, regardless of who you choose, ideally you've got technology that, integration almost, it's almost, a bit more utilitarian. It should be, you should look at it and it feels like it's one thing. It feels like it's one system. It doesn't look like you're going from place to place. It looks like everything is just smooth and seamless and easy. I always say that the best technology is the easiest technology. And I, being a technologist, day in and day out, get frustrated and slam things down. You don't want stuff like that. You want it to be smooth, easy, and seamlessly integrated. And one of the things I'll say as this relates to agent productivity especially is you want it to be something that whether you're generating leads, doing outbound marketing, doing inbound, whether you've got your website, landing pages, lead capture, lead conversion into opportunities, taking those opportunities and flowing them all the way through into contracts and then taking that contract to close. You want every one of those pieces to be able to talk to each other. You want every one of those pieces to feel like it's talking, back and forth. So your system knows what's going on, and so the individuals know what's going on, and you want that data to flow freely throughout. And that was, I will say, one of the key areas that was critical to get that right, and working with the right companies to make that happen.
And you've done large scale systems, built out systems for large scale companies before, cloud-based companies, as a matter of fact,
yeah.
And done national rollout. So you have to plan for not just, hey, I've got 100 agents next month.
Right.
You have to plan for what if you have 50,000 agents in all.
Yeah, you want these things you want to be able to, and integration also means you need to be able to change things out when you need to, right? Some things might scale better than others. But you want to plan that, nobody plans for failure, right? You plan for success, and you have to plan that over time, you're going to go from a couple hundred to a couple thousand to tens of thousands. And in order to do that, you have to have the foresight, because you can't change the engine while you're driving the car around the track. You need this to be prepared for that. And that's, it's fundamental to kind of the base level capabilities that we put in place.
Well, fantastic. So what's number 2 on your list when you're looking for the right technology?
So number 2, to me, this is really the fundamental piece about what technology really should be about, right? As I said before, that seamless nature is critical, but automation is the next item. If technology isn't helping you to do more stuff with less time, then what's it doing? Well, you're spending money on something that's not getting you any further faster. So automation is just, again, another fundamental ingredient. And what I mean by that is you want the technology to be working on your behalf even when you're not working. Right? What you want it to be doing things like responding to leads, creating new, outbound campaigns for you based on specific parameters. there's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence and how it's taking over so much stuff. The reality is there's this blend of artificial intelligence and automation, combined with, the intelligence of the individual and, the work that everybody has to do, right? Nothing is going to completely automate anybody's job and take it over for them. But what you want it to do is automate the things that are repetitive, that need to be followed up on quickly, and that need constant care and feeding. One of the things I will say about the goals that we've set out for the agent productivity suite is you want it to work on behalf of that agent, but not take over the agent's role and responsibilities. Right? There's a delicate blend there. And that level of automation, frankly, you can choose to use all or some. But you want to leverage that, because if there's one thing that's clear in this environment, it's the early bird gets the worm. You've got to get to those leads faster. You've got to get to contracts faster. You've got to be on top of every last detail, and the only way to do that is to have the system do some of this for you.
Oh, absolutely. And we live in that instant gratification world, right? So if I put in and I had a request on any product and someone doesn't get back to me quickly, I'm already moved on to the next product. Not to mention, if I'm looking at homes or realtors in different areas, I'm certainly not just going to wait a day and a half or 2 days for you to get back to me. I'm assuming that you don't exist at that point. So I'm really moved on to the next one. So fantastic point on automation. And again, with a fully integrated, seamless, I like to use, system that's automated, it really helps leverage both your time, your effort, and keeps the agent out in the field working with clients is where they should be, right? And again, cloud-based. We don't need you in the office because we don't have an office. We give you permission to be out of office permanently here, Scott, so you don't have to worry about it. So what's the third thing? So the third thing here is actually pretty critical, right? So given where we started, right? And again, the vision be one of our main tenets being digital, right? And international. We have very strict standards, right? So we have very, very strict standards coming from Europe. So the third area is?
The third area, and I will say this is the least sexy area of all, but it's absolutely critical to your point. It's about data security and privacy. You have to respect people's data, right? Whether that's agents' data, right? Leads and the lead ownership and the ability to, kind of take your data with you. Whether that's, the company's ability to access other people's data, whether that's individuals' ability to access data within the system itself. And, again, to your point, given that IAD started in Europe, where, the data privacy laws are the strictest on the planet, it's again inherent in everything that the company does. It's inherent in everything that we've looked at, and how we've looked at things for the U.S. And it really, it resonates across the board, right? Whether that's contracts, whether that's personal information for leads, whether that's information related to the agent and agent financials and everything else, right? That data flows through all of these systems. And frankly, I've seen some very scary systems over the years where this is not the case. So I'm happy to say that IAD, this is in the company's blood. And I think, it's going to raise the level of scrutiny across the industry, frankly, because of how IAD treats data privacy, data security, data protection. And it's one of those things that every agent should be thinking about this, should be asking their brokerage, and should have this expectation that everything is not just secure, but it's this things that are need to know, and only the right people have access to the right things.
Well, you mentioned two things there. So the one question I get all the time is, where are leads coming from? How do I get them? And if they're my leads, are they my leads, right? So when we talk about privacy, they're your leads, right? They're locked in the system. As an agent, those are your leads. We want you to work those leads. We want you to keep your clients. We have no interest in taking over your clients for you. And that's why we have the automation and integration piece, right? So we want to make sure those our clients are taken care of. You can, pull through data from your MLS and directly into on your phone directly and create social pieces or flyers or whatever you want to create at that particular time. And it makes it so much easier. So you're more efficient, more effective. And again, that's what we want technology for, not to replace you, but to really make you better, right? So you can spread more thin, but make you better. So that leads us to why we chose what we chose. So we're not changing the award-winning, industry-leading back-end system that we have from Europe that handles everything that you need from the administrative perspective, but we do need to have the best of breed, best of class in the U.S. So we ended up with what? Where did that leave us, Scott?
Yeah. So where that led us to, and of course, through evaluation of multiple providers out there. But I don't think it's a coincidence that it led us in the direction of Inside Real Estate and their KV Core enterprise level platform, along with Brokerment, which is now part of the Inside Real Estate family through acquisition. And as a result of that acquisition, they have what is arguably the most robust suite of technology that's available, and it's this is not simply a CRM or not simply a website or not simply some marketing tools. We're talking about a real, not just fully integrated platform, but set of capabilities that go above and beyond, and a marketplace that gives added capabilities to those that want them. But the fundamental platform here is KV Core, with it frankly in all its glory, with every capability that an agent could want, with full integration, bi-directional integration with Brokerment. For those who aren't familiar with that, hundreds of thousands of agents are using KV Core today, so I would be surprised if folks are not familiar. Brokerment is a transaction management platform that fully integrates bi-directionally, meaning data can flow back and forth between the systems. So I can just convert leads to contracts and opportunities and flow that all the way through. It then integrates directly with forms, with e-signature and everything else that just makes the transaction process that much smoother. And communication can occur through the CRM. And there, we could go on and on and on, frankly, about the wonderful capabilities. But the important part of this decision was to look at what company is out there, not just with great capabilities from a technology perspective, but from a company perspective, the backing that they have, the financial backing, the team that they have, the experience that they have. They've got hundreds of people. They've got they're investing over and over and over again in technology that any company that a brokerage or whomever that might want to try to do this all on their own, well, you've seen plenty of announcements about Inside Real Estate and KV Core in the past year plus. They go in that direction. That's where it made a hell of a lot of sense for IAD to go in that same direction.
It does in a couple different ways, right? So we have such a strict standard on who we're willing to work with, and the quality level, also the data privacy that has to be in place, and the amount of investment they're looking to do to continue to grow the products in different iterations. Yep. The acquisition of Boomtown, which is arguably a lot of the major teams out there would tell you it's one of the reasons why they are where they are today. So the integration of that technology plus the Brokerment plus the full suite that they had to offer. And let's be honest, there's a lot of agents already using it. So, and when agents want to make a switch to a different brand who offers a better program out there, a better model, maybe like IAD, they have an easy transition when they come over, right? So it made sense on multiple levels. And I'm going to tell you, Scott, it's not just you by yourself doing this, right? We couple this with full-blown support on the back end, not only from our providers, our vendors and providers, but also from our agent support managers that are live people They're not an 800 number that you just have a random person. They're not a virtual reality goggles or no. We're talking about someone who is assigned to you as an agent who can walk you through the process, anything administrative on the back end, whether it's for Play IAD or whether it's through I have trouble with this on my marketing. That person actually works with you. So you have not only a live person, but you have the best technology coupled with award-winning back-end support and technology in addition to a live person working with you. It really makes you that much better as an agent, because who wants to sit in the office and work on this, right? No one, you mentioned at the beginning, this is the least sexy topic we could have, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it's your number one problem. So we don't want that. We want you out there working with working with clients on a daily basis, making money, selling houses, growing your business. That's what we're all about here at IAD. So Scott, any last comments on the agent productivity suite or anything else agents should be thinking about?
Yeah, just really quick. For me, the funniest thing is when anybody thinks that technology is done. There is no such thing as done, right? It's not like a steak where it could be done or it could be overdone. With technology, it's just constantly evolving and changing, and we're already looking obviously at other technologies to integrate with this platform. We're already looking at different ways to create more value. We're constantly listening to agents to understand what are the things that they like, don't like, want to see, whatever it is. So the fact is, where we are today and what IAD is offering today is amazing, and it's just the start. So to me, that's the exciting part, is the evolution that will just continue and always just improve.
Well, that is fantastic. I really appreciate you joining me here today and kind of shedding some light on what we're doing here at IAD from a technology perspective. We get a lot of questions about it. I would venture to say that not anyone listening understands as well as you do, but we tried to pick up some tidbits from you. But I think it's very enlightening for people to see that it's a heavy investment on our end, and to make sure our agents are the most productive in the industry. So I really appreciate you joining me here today, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
You got it.